The human body has been compared in the Bible to the Old Testament tabernacle. It's also called the temple of God, but it's called the tabernacle of God as well. I think tabernacle is a good name because in the Old Testament, the tabernacle was a temporary structure as the children of Israel wandered around the wilderness, and eventually they built a permanent structure, the temple. In the same way, our bodies are a temporary structure. For a Christian, they're not going to last forever, but one day after the resurrection, we'll get an immortal, incorruptible, eternal body that will last forever. So as we study the tabernacle and study the human body, I've seen some what appear to me to be amazing correspondences, some amazing analogies. First of all, the human body has several main systems. Integumentary system, covering consisting of hair, skin, fingernails. Then there's the muscular system for movement, the skeletal system for support, the respiratory system provides oxygen, the circulatory system, the blood carries nutrients and wastes. The digestive systems provides the nutrients for us as we eat and digest the food. The excretory system removes wastes. The endocrine system consists of chemical messengers. The immune system protects us from foreign substances. And then there's the nervous system we need for control. And finally, the reproductive system, which makes new individuals. So can we see some of those systems illustrated in the Hebrew tabernacle? Here's a diagram of the Hebrew tabernacle model. So there was a tent surrounded by a wall consisting of posts with material strung around between them, a main entrance on the one side, and as you go in, there's the altar with the flame where sacrifices are made. Behind that, a big bowl of water, the laver for washing, and then the tabernacle itself, which we will go into more detail next. So here's a diagram of the tabernacle. We have the altar of burnt offering, the laver with water for washing. Inside the tabernacle itself, at the one end we have a table of showbread, at the other a golden candlestick, and then an altar for burning incense, and then a big curtain or a veil, and behind that is the Ark of the Covenant, which we will talk more about. Here is a picture of the tabernacle itself. It's a tent with 4 different layers. That reminds me of the integumentary system, our skin. There are 4 main layers, I guess you could say. Usually you hear about the dermis and the epidermis in our skin. That's 2. But below that is a subcutaneous layer, which attaches the skin to the tissues beneath. And you could call a 4th layer the hair, which is above the skin. And some places it's more hair than others. So I think there's a similarity there between the 4 layers of and the integumentary system to protect us and the 4 coverings that God instructed the tabernacle to be covered with. Then we have the priests, and this is the high priest here, but there were many other priests that were involved, and when the tabernacle had to be moved, there were 3 different groups of priests who moved the tabernacle. And guess how many different types of muscles we have in our body? 3 different types. We have skeletal muscles, which move our skeleton, smooth muscle, which take care of internal organs, and cardiac muscle, which is the heart. Here we see the tabernacle again, and we can see the posts around the edge, and there's posts holding up the tent for support. Sorry. So here we have the tabernacle again with the posts for support, and there's posts here holding up the tabernacle and the others that you cannot see for support. And so the human body has a skeletal system for support. And here's one of the individual posts for support. Inside the tabernacle, we have the table of showbread, provides food, and in the human body we have the digestive system for food. Here's the altar where the sacrifices are made, consumes the sacrifice just like we consume food and digest it and break it down. Inside the tabernacle we have the altar of incense where incense is burned. Inside the tabernacle, we also have the altar of incense, where incense is burned. That makes a sweet aroma, so perhaps that could correspond to the sense of smell. Then outside the tabernacle, we have the laver for cleaning. So the kidneys in our urinary system cleanse the blood and get rid of impurities. Also inside the tabernacle, we have the candlestick, the golden candlestick, to provide light. And we have eyes in our nervous system to let light in so we can see the world around us. Then we have the holiest place of all, the Holy of Holies. Behind the curtain. What's behind the curtain? We have the Ark of the Testament, a box covered with gold inside and out, and two angels covered with gold also at the top, at each end of the Ark of the Covenant. The angels, each one is looking at the other's feet, so they look across from each other. So their sense of sight makes an X. Interestingly enough, in the nervous system, in the central nervous system, the nerves from your eyes cross at the base of the brain in what's called the optic chiasma. So I think that inside the holy place reminds me of the central nervous system. The Ark of the Covenant has 3 layers. It has gold on the outside, gold on the inside, and wood between the outside gold and the inside gold. And your central nervous system is surrounded by 3 layers of protection. The pia mater, the dura mater, and the arachnoid layer. What was inside of that Ark of the Covenant, that golden box? Originally there were 3 things. There was Aaron's rod that budded, 2 tables of stone, which had the 10 Commandments on them, and a golden pot of manna, which is what the children of Israel ate when they wandered through the desert. And so this also reminds me of 3 main parts of the central nervous system. The 3 main parts would be the spinal cord, which reminds me of a rod, and it had buds coming out of it. There are nerves coming off the spinal cord. And then the thing that kept people alive was the manna in the wilderness, and it's in a little pot-like, and in your central nervous system you have the spinal cord, and up above that you have the cerebellum, which allows you to stay coordinated. Finally, the main part of your brain, there are 2 cerebral hemispheres with their different lobes, and so that reminds me of the 2 tables of stone with the 10 Commandments in them. So this isn't something you'll find in the Bible, but it wouldn't be surprising to me that the same God who designed the human body designed the tabernacle, and I would expect to see many similarities. And so there you have it. You can accept it. It doesn't prove the Bible to be true, but for the people who already believe God's word is true, I think it can be amazing and interesting to study.